What's up, everybody? Welcome to the My RC Life YouTube channel, where we do all things RC and a little bit of everything in between. Let's go!
What's going on, everybody? Tracks is Mike from My RC Life, and today we're just gonna do some bench time. It's kind of crappy outside, wet, cold, windy, and I got a few little things I need to do to a couple trucks. Really, when you have like 30 different RC vehicles, there's always something to do to a truck, a drone, a plane, a boat, a car. There's always something that needs fixed or upgraded. You can always find something to do. Something that needs painted, touched up. You know, you can always find something to do. So today, we're going to start with this Savage Flux 2350. This still has the stock 2350 motor in it, but I have Traxxas X-Max VXL8S ESC in it. And it's she got a whole lot of snort, and obviously can be ran on up to 8S. I only run it on 6S. I think I may have tried it on 8S once, but it was just way too crazy. I've broke the front end diff gears out of it a couple times because it's just got too much rip snort, and this don't have a center diff. So when the front tires spin, the back tires spin at the same speed, or vice versa. Well, this slipper clutch is locked right down. So that means it has no give. So if this thing rolls and I'm on the throttle a little bit and one tire comes down real hard, something's got to give. And it's usually the diff. This is one of my first real high power RC vehicles. I've had it over 10 years. It's pretty much stock besides the ESC. It's got a different set of tires on it, and it's got wheel wideners and these really nice, I forget what, they say BAS, but this is a really sought after company or guy who made these lug nuts for these Savages. I forget who made them or whatever. But other than that, it is stock as far as I can remember. It might have the spur gear might have been changed. Probably has. I'm pretty sure I got a GPM one on there. The only thing I need to do on this thing is just get this old spring pulled off the spur gear and get another one on there, because that's why this one's locked right down, because the spring is smushed right flat and it's got no spring left in it. All right, I'm going to take a straight screwdriver, pick up this gear cover right here and stick this screwdriver right in the teeth of the spur gear so it'll hold still while I loosen this up. Okay. I'm going to back this all the way off. Okay. The nut just fell. Pull the spring out. And as you can see, I mean, this thing has little to no spring value left. So now I got to find another spring to go in place of this. I'm going to grab my box of Savage Flux parts. I actually have a whole second Savage chassis. This was the Savage Flux HP. These actually were both my trucks. I owned them at the same time. You had the Savage Flux HP and the Savage Flux 2350. The difference was this had a smaller ESC and a smaller motor, and this one had obviously the bigger ESC and bigger motor. The ESC was basically a rebranded Mamba Monster ESC. I ended up trading this to my nephew Dustin, and he had it for a handful of years. and it ended up like this, and he gifted it back to me. So, you know, he said use it for parts, but it's kind of complete. It does have a servo in it. I would take that out. But yeah, put a new servo in it. Motor, ESC, hexes, wheels, tires, body. And I think I have all of that. So I could just pull this one off from this truck, but I want to try to keep this complete because I do plan on putting this back together. I got my box of parts here. Oh yeah, that's right. I have a whole secondary spare transmission. Oh, and I can tell that thing's definitely got some spring left in its step. So we'll probably do that. Just gonna hold it still. Spin the nut off of here. Pull the spring off. Put our old spring from the wore out spring from our truck that we're working on. Put it back on there. Actually, these are lock nuts. It's a nylock nut. It's got nylon in there so it locks down. This one, you can see the nylon hanging out the end. It's probably got hot, been tightened down 10,000 times. Looks like I've had a pair of vice grips on it a time or two. And the one that was on this transmission is a lot better shape. So we're going to go ahead and put the wore out one back on this transmission. Put the nicer one on the truck that we're going to be driving. All right, now, since I've moved the truck around, a bunch of stuff has came out of place on me. Well, that ain't no good. I'm actually going to need to pull this one Phillips screw off of here. Pull off the guard. As you see what's happened, this whole gear is slid off the pin and everything. And I reached my hand in there to try to slide it back, but I couldn't quite get it on there. So now I should be able to do this. Okay, put this slipper disc back up and in place. It's got little holes in the disc and it pops in on little pins. There we go, that's in place. Now this will just slip back right like that. And notice this is not a round hole in this washer, it's a hex, because this goes into it's round where the threads are, but then it changes into a hex. So you gotta spin it until it goes onto the hex. There we go. Grab my spring, slide it on. Time for the nut. Righty tighty. Get that tightened up against the spring so nothing is loosey-goosey and can't move back and forth. Now we can start tightening it. Okay, now I need to figure out how tight I need this. Power it up. Got a Savoy servo in it. This is how I test it. I'll hold it firm and give it a little throttle and see if it slips. Hear that? Slipping just a little bit, but wanting to take off. I might be right on the sweet spot. I think that'll probably be good. Let's see what it does. Stay. Oh, it's got a little bit too much slip. See, yeah, a little too much. Stay, Trixie. Trixie's up here on the counter because she'll want to get it. Okay, come here. I'll put you down. And it almost smells like a hot vacuum cleaner belt. So we're going to go ahead, tighten her down a little more. Maybe that'll be okay. Come here. Sit, stay, stay. Got a little bit of slip, but not enough. I'm gonna loosen it up just a bit. Half turn maybe. Stay. I think that seems about right. Maybe just a tiny bit more, maybe. All right, guys, this one is all set. Don't forget to put the gear cover back on here. Smack the body back on. Now this bad boy is ready to go. Next is my son's Tekno MT-410. What happened is the JX servo, the gears got took out in it. These fans, the zip ties stretched out over time, and he was jumping it and crashing it, not landing it really good. He nosedived it a couple times after a large jump, and these slid so far forward, they were right up against the servo arm. So when he turned left, it would hit the fans, and it, it wouldn't let it move. So anyways, it tore up this JX servo. Well, now we got a Reefs 444 servo that's going in this thing, because if it had a Reefs in it, it probably just would have pushed the fans back. I'm also going to try to pull the zip ties a little bit more and stretch them a bit more again and get it to tighten down. Because the same thing happened on my Tekno, and these stretched out like that. Now these have been cut off, obviously, because you can't have big long things flopping around in your body. So what I do is try to grab onto them with vice grips and pull them. If they don't have enough hanging out to grab them with vice grips and pull them, you can grab with vice grips back here, hold this with your hand and push forward on the vice grip, and they'll stick out just a little bit more. And then you should be able to get the vice grips on the end here and really pull them out. Just like that. That's how they were. This is how much more I got. So that's really gonna bite those suckers down a lot more. There we go. Can I move them back and forth? Nope. How about rolling them? Rolling them's really easy to do. Oh, I can just barely roll them, so that means they're pretty tight. Now I did replace this servo with this ProTech servo, and it's a lower grade, I would say. I mean, it would be great in like a Slash, a UDR, a Rustler maybe, but this having big tires like this, and with all the backflips and this crazy aerobatics and stuff you do with this, you probably want a little tougher servo than that. Replacing this servo is pretty easy. Undo the top bolt there. Pop that up off of there. Pop these 2 bolts out of the mount. Pop these 2 bolts that have washers on them out of the back side here. Then you should be able to lift the whole thing out, just like that. I never tightened the receiver box back down, so that was already undone. Unplug the servo from the receiver. Pop these 2 off as well. You don't want to lose that guy. Make sure you see which way the servo's clocked. Just leave this right on there or right together until you're ready to swap the new one in. That's what we'll do. Okay, let's open up this Reefs 410. These Reefs servos are the best servos on the market right now, in my opinion, probably in a lot of people's opinion. I just had 2 of the top of the line best Reefs servo on the market, the Beast 2000s. I had those shipped to me, and I mean, customer service with these people is top notch. I sent them an email. 5 minutes later, I was on the phone with the company owner. He called me, and I hadn't even purchased an item yet. He was just reassuring me how good his product is. Okay, so basically, want to match it up just like that. Okay, bam, smack that in just like that. And remember, I said this part here, don't lose that. Make sure your washer's on there. Start it in, don't tighten her all the way down though. Oh, actually, I put that thing on the wrong side, guys. Everybody makes mistakes. I'm going to see if I can get this servo wire run to the bottom here. Grab it up with my pliers. And if I sit this in place, we'll then still have enough room to reach back to the receiver. It does, but it does kind of come close to this motor. Actually, what I think I'll do is I'll put a little bit of this on it, just to ensure it don't get too hot. Alright, get some zip ties put on this. Finish bolting the servo in. Make sure your steering is in the center point. Power it up. It's so quiet. Okay, so that's nice and right in the middle there. Now it always looks like it'll go like this, but it don't. It goes like this. Attach a blue Loctite. That's the Reese power that we know and have came to love. Oh yeah, baby. I'm gonna set our end points. So let's turn this all the way. Okay. Hear that humming? It definitely needs the end point set. Now if you watch that servo arm, See how steep it is? Now I'm going to minus it. See it going down? Oh, I want it to go down all the way until the tires start to steer back just a little bit. Same thing on the left side. I got them both in the 70s. 71 for the left, 76 for the right. It is a little bit steered to the right. So I need to bust that steering trim.
Center point. Center point.
Okay, so I got that done to where I like it. Put our receiver cover back on. Thanks for tuning in with me on a boring Friday night to get a little bit of shop time in and some maintenance done on some of the RCs. I'm Traxxas Mike from My RC Life, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.
Thanks for watching another episode of My RC Life. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.